So I think a really good thing to look at here for all of the people who are being very critical of me and of so many others for saying, let's put aside the fact that we dislike Bush and Chavez disliked Bush, right? Let's put that aside for a second and just look broadly speaking. I have here Human Rights Watch World Report from 2013. This is brand new. I just got this. I don't even know that this is out yet. We got it from the publisher just about a week ago. Maybe it is out by now. And if we look at what this says about Venezuela on a number of different fronts, you will see that there is a very clear picture being painted here. On judicial independence, Chavez and his legislative allies conducted a political takeover of the Supreme Court, filling it with government supporters and creating new measures that make it impossible to purge justices from the court. Okay? Hugo Chavez essentially packed that court for his personal gain, and that's that. There is no judicial independence in Venezuela. Freedom of media. The Chavez government has expanded and abused its powers to regulate the media. Sharp criticism of the government is common in print media. Private TV and some other outlets also have some criticism of the government. Fear of government reprisals have made self-censorship a serious problem. No free media. Human rights defenders. The Chavez government has intensified its efforts to marginalize the country's human rights defenders by accusing them of seeking to undermine Venezuelan democracy. A lot of these human rights observers have also been kicked out, have they not, Natan?
The Human Rights Watch people were expelled from the country after one of their reports a few years ago.
Absolutely. Police abuses. Violent crime is rampant in Venezuela. Extrajudicial killings by security agents remain a grave problem. Prison conditions. Venezuelan prisons are amongst the most violent in Latin America. Labor rights. The National Electoral Council has the power to organize and certify all union elections, violating international standards that guarantee worker rights to elect representatives in full freedom. There essentially is no true freedom of labor organization, and Venezuela has increasingly rejected international monitoring of its human rights record. On every aspect, we have a disastrous human rights situation in Venezuela. So if you want to say, well, they're against U.S. imperialism, so I support them, and poverty was reduced, okay, but that's not an argument I'm going to make, and I understand some of the left will criticize me for this. That's my point of view. What else can I say, Lewis? I can't imagine supporting someone simply because they don't like U.S. imperialism. There are many, many people that don't like U.S. imperialism, including Ron Paul. Doesn't mean I'm going to vote for Ron Paul. Just focusing on that, to me, is really not a good idea.
Yeah, I don't support Chavez, of course, didn't support Chavez, but, you have to look at the good and the bad, and there is both. In some cases, with what I would call dictators, there is no good. I mean, some people are slaughtering their own citizens. There are genocides and things like that are happening elsewhere,
To
too.
touch very quickly on the dictator thing, Sean Penn the actor, has spoken out very openly about his support for Hugo Chavez, and he called him a model Democrat. A model Democrat, which is something I completely reject, and said back in 2010 that people who call Hugo Chavez a dictator should be jailed. What dictators do is jail people for making political statements. So Sean Penn here, and again, there are so many issues that can come up that will divide liberals or divide conservatives or bring liberals and conservatives together against further extremes. Whatever Sean Penn's views on any other issue are, on this particular issue, to say that someone who calls Chavez a dictator should be jailed, that's what dictators do. They jail people for what they say.
Yeah, kind of a ridiculous statement from Sean Penn.